next question is, why do we have such a need to believe in UFOs, or we are not alone, even without proof? I.e., as an individual, I may believe without never having had an experience. Is it a coping or comfort strategy, and can this be a positive thing?
Right, first of all, there isn't a need to believe in UFOs simply because UFOs do exist. And as a witness to UFOs, we have no proof. And even if you did have that proof and you said it in front of someone, they still wouldn't believe it.
What would be the ultimate proof?
For them to actually appear in the skies and come down in their ships and tell everyone that they are here. This is why we go back to the argument that, you know, what we're dealing with is so secret and covert that it's meant to be kept silent. And, you know, it's certainly not a comfort thing. I didn't feel comforted by what I experienced. In fact, I wanted to question the reality of the UFO phenomena. When I was in school, I knew what an aircraft was, I knew what a balloon was. We now have drones. Remember all those years ago we didn't have them. And every single time that someone has an encounter, they will bring forward and say you saw a plane, even though they themselves weren't present at that time. So I completely negate the fact that it's a comfort to believe in them. I feel that it changes you as an individual when you have experienced some element of the paranormal or something that cannot be explained, that other people want to explain for you. So, and it's nice that there are people who are able to accept some aspects of the UFO field, even if they've never seen one. I think that's really brave of them, and I would commend anyone who goes down that line. I'm not asking them to be gullible, because there's a lot of disinformation, a lot of rotten stuff out there, and it's even harder for us as researchers and as experiencers to understand what we're actually dealing with when you're fobbed off a lot of time by a lot of rubbish. And especially within, you know, Congress and going higher up the chain, you will get nothing but silence. And you telling me that every one of the people on this world, okay, take away 70% of it as misidentification, that the rest of that 30% are all delusional, that we're deluding ourselves. There was something I read a while ago saying that it was something to do with the Earth's stratosphere that was making us all hallucinate and see UFOs. Okay, because we've seen too many films as well too. Okay, why aren't people being abducted by Darth Vader or whizzed off with Harry Potter? Those are the main films that have integrated themselves within the world psychology, okay? UFOs have not, because those are the films at the time. No, it doesn't happen. We're still seeing the famous image of the grey aliens, or the way that they appear, Hollywood have portrayed them. And someone argued and said, I know that someone phoned up Steven Spielberg and asked Mr. Spielberg, you know, hey Mr. Spielberg, where did you get the ideas of those greys in Close Encounters of the Third Kind? And he said, well, we took the information from someone who had been abducted by aliens. And there was an argument that someone said that we used that within our psyche, and then all of a sudden we're all seeing greys. We are not that stupid. We have to give ourselves some form of credit. If everyone's talking about UFOs and these interdimensional or interplanetary beings, you know, there's got to be some truth in it. You know, otherwise, you know, we are all delusional. It's like when you go back to the Remsham case with Colonel Charles Holt, and you had the other guys there, and you know they were told that what they had seen by researchers was the lights from the Orford Ness Lighthouse.
Yeah,
we've seen that as well. Rubbish. So God help our American military, along with if they're chasing lights from a lighthouse. Those are fully trained American men. They know what they are seeing. Okay, so as I said, you know, this whole thing again just comes into that facet of, you know, we can't answer it because nothing's been given to the public, and that's exactly where we're still standing today after decades later, since the famous Roswell, New Mexico crash landing in 1947. We've come no closer to understanding what it is that we're actually dealing with.
We sort of feel where you come from there. I mean, we're in we're coming up to our 20th year now of paranormal studies, but me personally, I'm yet to see anything that will. I haven't seen a ghost come out and go boo. You know, but I'm still investigating, I'm still involved in it all.
And you have to be commended for that, because there's a part of you that wants to experience that.
You're spot on, I do want to experience it, but the more and longer I stay in it and the more I don't experience stuff, my mind sort of wanders away and it's like, why am I doing this? But something keeps drawing me back. And again, there's so many groups out there looking for that evidence, and they want that holy grail. I guess it's similar to the UFO case as well, because when they get bits of evidence, they put it out there, and every other team that's looking for the same thing just rip it apart.
Yes.
Mainly us at RiPA, because we hate fakes. And that brings us on to the next subject. There's so many fakes and whatnot out there in the ghost world and UFO world as well.
Yeah.
Again, we get submitted videos of flying discs, but you can easily see it's just either a sun reflecting off an airplane. But saying that, it's not always a conscious fakery. So if someone's flying in the sky and it doesn't look like an airplane, doesn't look like a helicopter, then that does make it a UFO by definition.
Oh yeah, by definition.
Probably not alien spacecraft or anything like that, which is what's understood about it.
Yes.
So how do you approach fakes in that sort of way?
Well, I don't say I have a knack, but through the research that I was doing, either psychic research or the UFO phenomena, you know, sometimes it can be very easy to spot fakes. I mean, there's plenty of sites on YouTube, I won't name them, dealing specifically with the UFO phenomena, and you can tell straight away that they're CGI.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to go to the Mexican cases, and the Mexican UFO sightings, which I believe are absolutely true. They are real. And yet they didn't have any media coverage. And yet, you know, all these other sites that do all this fake seem to go up and spike up.
Yeah,
so
famous case of the helicopter groups flying past the UFO appears with them.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Mexican.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the other thing as well too is that you have to probably have a healthy balance. When you're a researcher and investigator as yourself, you sometimes have a keen eye, like a police officer or a military guy or a pilot. You know what to look for. You know what isn't right, what is wrong, and that's the kind of like attitude that I have with regards to this subject. I have no proof. I have no proof whatsoever in any of the UFO phenomena, but I have it on, you know, within myself that I know what I've seen. I know what I've experienced. It is not of this world or this dimension, whatever it will be. And whatever I say, I'll be attacked anyway from other people that will tell you what you're seeing and your you know, even your mental state of mind. The classic is where you write children's books, you know, you write science fiction, you've got it on there. I really hate that. Why do we have to put someone in a pigeonhole and say that they're put there when they really want to be here and look at this? No, because I'll tell you why. Because most of the mainstream researchers and investigators into the phenomena are all coming to a brick wall every single time, and that tells me unequivocally that there is truth to this. It may not even be UFOs, it could be something that's beyond our understanding of the paranormal. It may be trying to find its way through to us that we can identify it or best understand it from a physical point of view. I can answer that. But what I'm saying is that, you know, I do believe in what I do and what I've seen, and what I have seen, what I've experienced is the truth. If I could put my hand on the Bible, I would swear, so help me God. And, you know, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I admit that. But I can tell you that no one told me anything within my education or growing up about, you know, aircrafts taking on a triangular formation with a circular undercarriage that hangs suspended, making no noise, and creating those amazing lights ever. No one can ever replicate or make you feel how that felt during that time. That was reality to me because 3 of us saw it. And that's just in one case.
So touching back on when you mentioned that you got a keen eye for it, we've had a few people join RiPA and wanted to be what we call RiPAs, and we usually look through the photos that have been submitted to us, and we can sit there and people have been with us a long time. We say, okay, no, that's fake because of this, that's that, and we've had people join us and they say, you're going too quickly for it. You're not studying it high enough. And they turn against us because of that.
Yes.
And
yeah.
So we try and slow it down and explain bits of why it's like that. And once you've seen 10, 20, 30 of the same picture and you've looked into why it looks like that, then you can instantly dismiss.
Yeah, and it can become very disheartening for the person who believes. But when you have multiple experiences, and yeah, people say we've got no photographs. Did I have the opportunity to take photographs? In the Revolution UFO event that we saw, we agreed not to take any cameras or any equipment with us. And even if I had, it would not have been enough for the scientific community or the other researchers who would argue blue in the face. You couldn't deal with all the photographs of the moon landings. Most of them look authentic, some of them don't. You know, and it's like it's good to have a keen eye because you have to look for the truth. I mean, you look at a lot of photographs of UFOs, most of them are dodgy, and most of them are like faked, fraud,
and blurred.
Always blurred. But you know, there's a lot of visual visuals that have been taken of them on camcorders that do look quite amazing, especially the orbs spinning round, and they sometimes have the heat round them, and they interest me because I think they seem to morph. They can mould their reality, like the huge triangular UFOs in Belgium in the 90s.
Yeah, I've done a program on that recently.
Yeah, and that so whatever they're doing, they can morph their technology, if it is technology, as opposed to mental technology, from an orb to a huge triangle. Now that is some form of impressive technology, and that's why I believe that our military have always been interested in wanting that technology. Now we've got this part where it could be half the military, half the aliens. That what you're seeing is man-made objects, the other half is alien. It's got to the point where it's got so messy and confusing that we don't know where we are. We're lost in the woods.
So we need to go back, reset everything and start again.
We need to start again. We need to go back from scratch.
Again, sticking with this subject of fakes, you do mediumship.
Yes.
And you do platform.
Yes.
The platform world out there is littered with charlatans and fakes out there. I mean, us as RiPA, we've investigated a few, and we've got death threats from a few. And we've put a few out of business as well. Now, we don't mind the church group ones, the old Doris pays £2 on the door, has a reading, goes home, she heard from Arthur, she's happy, that's fine. But you get the celebrity ones, £80 on the door for 2 hours, and you can tell that it's cold reading or shotgunning or various other techniques for that. How do you feel about the fake psychics out there?
Well, I wouldn't mind if they were paying good money to get a good reading, but I feel that with a lot of the mediums that come into the arena, they're normally ousted out very quickly. And if you get good mediums, they normally are run by their name. Or if you have someone, unfortunately, who is a good medium, let's get caught up in the commercial world, then it's a very different story. The medium sometimes does not want to be catapulted into that, and they find themselves being pushed into the media world that then will tell them you can say this and you can't say that. Now I do know, and I won't mention the name of the person, a particular medium that is very good, and they were told they can't say this and they can't say that. So basically on television they're made to look like they're just yes, that's right. And this is where there are fakes out there. There are people who are phonies that make millions. Even someone said to me, "You're a millionaire." I said, "No, I'm not." The last time I looked into my bank account, I wasn't a millionaire. I can assure you of that. That's the reverse. Yeah. But you have to be careful when you're dealing with elements of fame in that department. It's okay to punch out a few books or have a big publishing house behind you. That is wonderful. That's cool, providing that you are doing what you allege to do. Okay. The public are very clever. They can find out whether or not someone is genuine or not. You see what I mean? So it's a very fine line, And as I said, a lot of people do a good job, but there are people, unfortunately, in any areas of work who will be fraudulent or fake or rip people off. But as I said, they don't last very long because they're found out, they're discovered. And this is the really very complex issue with the human brain and how it's utilised. People are creative through music, television, radio, whatever, it doesn't matter. And most of the time I believe those people are channeling inspiration, even though they sometimes are not aware of the fact that where did those words come from, how did I do this? And they will instantly negate the fact that there may be some other force that's helping them or bring that through. I'm not saying that applies to everyone, because there are people who, unfortunately, we can't detect whether or not someone's being truthful or deceitful, unless, of course, it's evident that they ripped someone off with a lot of money.
Or you watch Jeremy Kyle and visualise sex.
But sometimes some people don't know that they are channeling, and that's happened where someone can meet someone and someone will say something very strange that will mean something to that person, even though they have no connection with the other person that's just said it. So, as I said, you normally can tell whether or not you have something genuine or someone genuine to someone that's not. And this is where it gets really very murky. You have to, it's like walking a very fine, I always say to people with clairvoyance, it's like walking a double-edged sword. When you're dealing with evidence, You have to be spot on. You have to be as correct as you can get it. You don't, you make it something it's not, flare it up. And I certainly wouldn't tell people to go and sell, do this or do that. You have to be very careful because the person's opening themselves up emotionally to you, and they are vulnerable, and you are not allowed to take advantage of that vulnerability.
Even though people do, sadly.
Well, in all walks of life, whatever you do, there's going to be someone who will rip someone off. Trust me on that one.